side boosters have lit back up. They are now in their boost back burn, making their way back down to Earth. Now, those side boosters are returning to Florida under the power of 3 engines. That's 3 of the 9 M1D engines. Making their way back down to Earth. So next up will be the conclusion. Next up will be the conclusion of those side booster boost back burns, followed by MECO on the center core, as well as stage separation of the center core and the second stage, and then SES-1 or second stage engine start 1. Now, as I mentioned previously, per the request of our customer, we won't be showing second stage views after SES-1. And additionally, our center core or stage 1 is expendable today, so we will not be attempting to recover that vehicle, but we should have some great views like we are seeing right now.
Core boost back shut down.
We should have some great views of those side boosters touching down for landing.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC startup.
And excellent views. We had the
Stage 1 FTS has safed.
We did have the shutdown of the boost back burn. We did have the shutdown of the boost back burns on the side boosters, as well as MECO on that center core and stage separation. We are waiting for confirmation of a call out of the fairing separation.
All vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
So currently stage 2 is still making its way to its targeted drop-off orbit, while the side boosters are making their way back down to land. Again, these side boosters have another burn coming up. That will be the entry burn. That will be 3 of 9 M1D engines reigniting. That helps to slow the boosters down in preparation or as they re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. We got some views here from those side boosters there on your screen. Now, at the time of separation, the side boosters were traveling slow enough to turn around and make their way back to land, to our side-by-side landing pads. If we have successful landings today, we'll mark the 163rd and 164th landing of an orbital class rocket. As I mentioned earlier, the center core will be expendable, and we are not attempting to recover it today.
Side core entry burn startup.
And there you can see on your screen, the entry burns for these side boosters have begun. They're just about 12 seconds long.
PY FTS has saved and NY FTS has saved.
And the entry burns for both side boosters have now concluded. Now next up will be the final burn for each of these side boosters. That is the landing burn. It is just a single engine burn, the center E9 engine. Each one of these M1D engines have about 190,000 pounds of thrust. So that is enough to slow the vehicle down just in time for landing. And you could see the coast of Florida in the background.
Side boosters are transonic.
Now that landing burn coming up here in just about 20 seconds or so.
Booster landing burn.
Landing burn will last about 20 seconds long. Again, we are scheduled to land on landing zone 1 and landing zone 2. And there are those landing burns have begun on the side boosters, so let's watch as they touch down.
Stage 2 is on thermal guidance. Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Booster landing leg deployed.
to see as we watch the side boosters
landed.
touch down for landing. That confirms successful landing of both Falcon Heavy side boosters on landing zone 1 and landing zone 2. Now, with these two side boosters, this marks the 163rd and 164th overall successful landing of an orbital class rocket. It's also the 25th landing on landing zone 1 and the 6th landing on landing zone 2. And with successful confirmation of our side boosters landing, that will bring today's webcast to
Nominal
a
orbit
close.
insertion.
Now, we'd like to thank the United States Space Force for entrusting us with today's mission. Thank you to the Range and the Federal Aviation Administration for licensing today's launch. And we'd like to thank all of you, our viewers, for tuning in. Now, if you're interested, head over to our website and social media platforms for updates on our next missions and milestones. We hope that you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
And once they get to apoapsis, they'll do a second burn to get either to or very close to geostationary orbit, then deploy the payloads, then they will vent the remaining propellant from the second stage. So still a while to go for stage 2 here, but...
And actually, part of that too